A potential return of Jamie Alexander's Lady Sif in Thor Love and Thunder could result in the live-action debut of Beta Raybill. In Marvel Comics, Beta Raybill is a warrior from a distant planet who proved himself worthy of the mantle of Thor when he lifted Mjolnir in a 1980s comic. The character, who gained a costume similar to Thor's and a powerful weapon on par with the Mjolnir, has evolved into a fan-favorite cosmic superhero. Beta Raybill, along with Hercules, Balder the Brave, and Enchantress, is one of the most important characters associated with the God of Thunder who hasn't appeared in the MCU. Though Thor Love and Thunder director Taika Waititi was downplayed the rumors of Beta Raybill having a role, now may be the time for the character to show up on the big screen. Thor's next adventure may seem his cross path with the Corbinite hero, especially since Avengers Endgame concluded with him heading off into space with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Plus, a statue in Thor Ragnarok seemingly confirmed the existence of his species. Beta Raybill could be one of several heroes taking part in the next chapter of Thor's story. Also along for the ride will be Asgard's new ruler, Valkyrie, and Jane Foster, who will transform into the mighty Thor from the comic books. A few of the Guardians will reportedly be involved as well, but there has been no solid confirmation of that thus far. There's also the matter of Lady Sif, who sat out Thor Ragnarok. The character could make her long-awaited return in Thor Love and Thunder. What would make her return even more interesting would be if she brought Beta Raybill along with her. Beta Raybill and Sif's relationship in Marvel Comics explained. In Marvel Comics, Beta Raybill and Lady Sif have a history that goes back decades. In fact, Sif was there when Thor encountered him for the first time in 1983. During his first storyline, Beta Raybill fought beside Sif against the forces of Surtur. While fighting together, the two began to develop a deep mutual respect after surviving a duel with Thor for ownership of Mjolnir and being awarded Stormbreaker for his efforts. It was decided that he would leave Asgard. This troubled Sif, who had formed a romantic attraction to Bill, though they had only known each for a few days. Sif was able to learn all she needed to know about him from his sentient spaceship, which shared with Sif many of Bill's secrets. After developing a profound understanding of Beta Raybill and his warrior spirit, Sif decided to leave Asgard with him. She explained to Thor that she felt that remaining on Asgard had made her blunt and dulled, and that adventuring in space would be good for her. While together, Beta Raybill and Lady Sif shared a number of exploits both in space and on Earth. When they finally returned from a series of hard-fought battles, Thor discovered that Sif was more at peace with herself than she had ever been. Sif gained a lot from her time with Bill and has reunited with him a few times since in other cosmic stories. What Lady Sif could have been doing since Thor 2? Lady Sif hasn't made an appearance in the MCU since 2013's Thor: The Dark World due to Alexander's TV commitments. It's been suggested by Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige that the story-related reason for her absence is that Sif was probably banished from Asgard. That makes sense considering how things were left at the Thor end of Thor 2 with Loki masquerading as Odin. It seems only reasonable that he would exile the character with the best chances of discovering his ruse. So it could be that after being kicked off Asgard by Loki, she had to go off on her own. While adventuring in space, she could have encountered the Corbinites. It's possible that while on their planet, she helped their people with the problem and had a team up with Beta Raybill. Similar to their comic book counterparts, they could have enjoyed working together and agreed to continue their travels together. At some point though, their adventures would have been interrupted by Thanos' snap. It's been confirmed that Sif was among those killed in the snap. In any case, Sif and Beta Raybill could have reunited 5 years later once everyone was brought back in Avengers Endgame. Lady Sif is the easiest way to introduce Beta Raybill. In Thor Love and Thunder, Thor may be in for a surprise if he sees Sif again and finds her in the company of Beta Raybill. This could be how the two meet. This would be a relatively easy way of bringing his character into the story, but the simplicity of it is what makes it work. Instead of trying to write in Sif and Bill in two different ways, Thor 4 can pair them together and bring them both in at the same time. This would help explain what Sif has been doing since Thor: The Dark World, and it will give Marvel a quick and concise way of introducing Beta Raybill. If Marvel were to follow the comics, his first meeting with Beta Raybill would be a much longer, more involved story that would take up a great deal of screen time. Instead of having Thor help Bill save his people, Thor 4 can skip that by saving Sif do it off screen. Bill's MCU story can begin with him already on a cosmic adventure. What Marvel can do with Beta Raybill and Sif in Thor 4? Marvel introducing Beta Raybill in this way doesn't mean the movie will risk falling to do him justice. Thor Love and Thunder story can still give him plenty to do without overlooking the most important element of his story, which is his worthiness. At some point in the movie, Bill can show Thor and everyone else that he has what it takes to be the god of thunder. His arc could actually culminate in him receiving to Stormbreaker from Thor. After all, it does belong to him in the comics. At the end of the movie, Beta Ray could embark on a new quest armed with his new weapon. As for Lady Sif, she may opt to part ways with him. Considering that Marvel has already moved on from the Thor Jane Foster romance, Sif, who had unrequited feelings for Thor, could become his new love interest. It could be the whatever transpires in Thor Love and Thunder may end with Thor and Lady Sif beginning a romantic relationship.